my name is Katie Willis. I'm part of the Office of Information Technology here at the University of Texas at Dallas. If you are recently joining us, thank you so much. I know you guys have been probably having a crazy day with all the closures here on campus. But yeah, so I just wanted to double check to see how people are feeling today. If you are looking at the top of your screen, there's a react button. So if you're having a pretty decent day, can you give me a thumbs up or a heart or anything today? There we go. There we go. Maybe a smiley face or anything like that. Well, I'm so glad you guys are able to have at least a pretty okay day, especially with the closures earlier today. Um, So I'm just going to do some housekeeping before we begin our webinar. First, thank you so much for joining us for Break into IT with LinkedIn Learning. Today we are joined by Matt from the university's library and then also Elma from LinkedIn Learning to give us a really great in-depth understanding of LinkedIn Learning and also how you can utilize it for your IT career. First things first, I do want to note for everyone here that we have turned off the chat feature and we have also turned off the microphones and videos. So no worries about you accidentally popping up or anything. But if you do have a question at any point during this webinar, we do have a Q&A feature turned on. We do have it so that it is moderated, meaning that one of our individuals will look through it, address your question, and then post it or publish it, meaning that anybody can see it. So it may take a few minutes before we actually address your specific question. And if at any point we don't have a question answered for you right now, we will reach out to you after the webinar to make sure that your question is addressed. All right, before we get going, can I get another react, another thumbs up, another heart to say that we're all ready to go? Yeah? Are we ready? Are we ready? There we go. All right, Emma, do you mind moving to the next slide for Matt to talk about access?
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Matt McCauga, Senior Research Services Librarian and kind of our resident de facto expert for LinkedIn Learning. And I just want to thank you, Katie and Amanda for hosting this event, and Elma Clark for doing this training. I know I'm going to pick up something new as well with today's session. But just to get quickly how to access LinkedIn Learning out of the way, you would simply go to the library's website. Very easy to reach. You just add library dot to the UT Dallas address. So it's library.utdallas.edu. That brings you to our homepage, and you will see on our page, there's a white column on the right-hand side, and there's a little screenshot here that you can look at. And in the middle of that column is a link to LinkedIn Learning that will take you to the login page. That also includes links to an FAQ for help with troubleshooting any issues that you may have. There's a short step-by-step instruction page on how to log into LinkedIn Learning as well. Essentially, once you get to the login page for it, you'll have that NetID single sign-on prompt. After you get through that, there will be another one for LinkedIn. You don't have to have a LinkedIn account in order to use LinkedIn Learning. However, we feel like that it makes it a bit easier to use, and there are a lot of additional benefits to having that LinkedIn account so that you can get micro-credentials, things like that, onto your LinkedIn profile. And really, that's it. It's very straightforward. Once you know where to go, then you log in, and sky's the limit. And that's all I've got. I'll be around to help with the Q&A. And Elma, I will gladly hand this over back to you.
All right. So I know probably the most exciting thing for you guys here, not only from learning the really great stuff Elma's about to teach us, but you guys may be a little interested in some grand prizes. So for those who are attending today, you have automatically been entered into our raffle. A winner will be selected later today, and then whenever we select the winner, we will contact you with about information of how to collect your grand prize. Something we also wanted to do and really emphasize is that we have a second grand prize. Um, this will be completed on April 28th. So, something we really want to encourage you guys to do is actually go through LinkedIn and actually go through some of the items Elma will be talking about today. So, one way we're doing that is encouraging students to complete professional certificates. And again, I have to really emphasize professional certificates. It has to be listed on the specific certificate that you receive. Emma will be highlighting it a little bit later in the presentation. Once you've received a once you have received a certificate, tag the University of Dallas Office of Information Technology in your LinkedIn post. If you don't want to do a LinkedIn post, you're more than welcome to just email us. And every time that you complete a certificate and let us know about it, you'll be entered into a raffle. So the more entries or the more certificates you've completed, the more entries you've been added to. So I'd highly recommend getting them all the way done. Um, and then on April 28th, we will be drawing a winner. So get those certificates in, and you'll be a really good chance at winning. All right. And that is it for me for grand prizes. So let me switch it back to Elma to get us started.
Thanks, Katie, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you how LinkedIn Learning can help you break into IT. I look forward to presenting today, and hopefully at the end of my session, everyone would have gained some insight into how LinkedIn Learning can be a very valuable part of their career journey. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. As Katie indicated, we'll answer as many questions as we can, but I'm here to support the UT Dallas community. So of course, any questions after this, definitely reach out to Katie, and we'll make sure we follow up afterwards. As we mentioned today, the goal for this session is to how best to leverage LinkedIn Learning to break into IT. And what I hope to do today is to share some key content and resources into LinkedIn Learning. One key thing to remember is that LinkedIn Learning, of course, is not the ultimate solution. It's just a part, it's just a key resource in part of your journey here at UT Dallas. So with that being said, I'll dive right in. There's quite a bit to cover today. I will be presenting and also dipping in periodically to do a little demo to highlight what it is that I'm presenting. Of course, again, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. So LinkedIn Learning, as you know, is part of the LinkedIn Learning, of the LinkedIn platform. And we're partnering with UT Dallas to help you identify the skills that you need, the most critical skills as part of your career journey as you pursue a career path within IT. With LinkedIn Learning, you can develop the skills that matter the most, and then, of course, learn how to apply those skills, whether through some of the quizzes, the practice environments that we have, or through gaining certifications, and ultimately grow and achieve the success that you are hoping to achieve here at UT Dallas. Quick notes and quick items just to highlight. There are many features to the LinkedIn Learning product if you're not familiar with it. But one feature that I wanted to highlight that's often overlooked and folks are not aware of is that our platform is a global platform, meaning that you're able to access our content and consume our content via 25 different languages. We have 7 global languages where you can actually consume content based that we're creating those 7 global native languages: Mandarin, Brazilian, Portuguese, Spanish, French, English, German. But that being said, we also have additional subtitled languages. So just wanted to bring that to your highlights. So as you're in LinkedIn Learning, if you desire to consume our content in another language, or you're trying to brush up on a language and want to leverage LinkedIn Learning, just wanted to bring that to the forefront. Additionally, Matthew mentioned how best to access LinkedIn Learning. Quick reminder that you can access LinkedIn Learning on your mobile device anywhere, 24/7, wherever you're at. As you're doing that, make sure that you're downloading the LinkedIn Learning app. There's a different app. There's a LinkedIn app that you're using for job search, networking, but then there's also a LinkedIn Learning app, and you're logging in with your UT Dallas credentials. The same process applies as if you're logging in through the library, as Matthew indicated. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to our 24/7 support team or to myself via Katie. But just to let you know that you can access LinkedIn Learning on the go wherever you are. So in terms of our focus today is going to be on our tech library. However, just as a reminder, we do have three key libraries. We have a business library, which focuses on business related content specifically. And then we also have a creative library that focuses specifically on creative content, photography, Adobe, Camtasia, topics like that. But of course, for our audience today, especially, we're again focusing primarily on our tech offerings. Through LinkedIn Learning, we're hoping that you'll be able to gain advanced technical skills through the technical content that we have. We have invested heavily in the last 2 years in ensuring that we provide our learners with content that will help those, whether you're at a beginner proficiency level or an advanced proficiency level, no matter what stage you're at, that you will find the most appropriate content to meet those needs. So our content, this is sort of our platform as you're looking at our tech library, and we wanted to show you the breadth and the depth of our content as it relates to whatever your needs might be. So our content ranges from coding, from a coding scenario, all the way over to those that are interested more in the hardware space. So whether you're interested or you're pursuing a career that relates to web development, software methodology, cloud computing, or if your interest lies more on the hardware side of things as it relates to security, network administration, and so on, we have content that will address and provide value regardless of what area of interest you may have. Just as a strong note and very important note, we also provide certifications. These are usually very valuable to those in the IT space. As we know, along with the career, the degree that you're pursuing at UT Dallas, we all know that in some cases, being able to supplement that with a certification makes you even a much more, if you want to say, highlighted candidate as you're pursuing a job opportunity. So in a minute, I'll show you where to find those, but just wanted you to be aware that while you're here at UT Dallas, to take advantage of the certifications that are offered, we have micro credentials, the certification prep that you need or can supplement for all of these various topics here, and they are all free to everyone at UT Dallas. This opportunity that UT Dallas is providing to all students, staff, and faculty to be able to attain certain certifications. So for me, that is nothing else. One of the biggest takeaway that you have access to these free certifications and be able to take them at your own pace and at your own time. As it applies to our library and to our tech library, as I mentioned, we have the most up-to-date content. We partner specifically with organizations like Microsoft, Amazon. Our content team will partner with those folks to make sure that we have the latest and greatest. 72% of the content in our library are targeted at those that are intermediate or advanced level. We actually had over 460 updates to our library last year. We have approximately 7,500 plus courses in our library globally, and over 700 tech learning paths. Learning paths are simply curated content, sort of similar to a playlist. So if you have the opportunity, please explore the library. But if you don't, I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek. So as it relates to the library, if you're ever, quick tip, if you're ever trying to navigate through the LinkedIn Learning Library, we spent quite a bit of time in making sure that you're able to easily navigate our library. So navigate to our navigation bar here on the left, and you'll find what we have found to be the most used features in LinkedIn Learning. So to get to the tech library, you're going to content. And from here, you can see the three libraries I mentioned: creative, technology, and business. So under the technology library, this is where you're able to explore the various topics and features. I'm just going to browse through some of these quickly and come back to them later on in my presentation. But in terms of the topics that we cover, as you scroll down, you'll see that these are the main topics that we cover in our technology library: artificial intelligence, cloud computing, software development, network and system administration. These are key topics, and under these key topics, there are subcategories. So if you were to go to software development and click show all, this is where you can see these key topics and or skills that we cover under software development. One of the things that we try to do to help you find the most relevant content is we'll highlight things like editor's picks. These are topics that are most used by folks. And then, of course, you can see all of the various courses that we offer. As if you want to quickly find what you're looking for, you can always leverage our filters. So if you are, well, there's so much content here, it says over 7,600. Leverage the filters that we have, that if you're looking for courses or videos, if you're looking for hands-on practice, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. If you're looking for topics, software-based, for yes, certainly.
Hey,
Sorry
Alma,
about
it
that.
looks like we missed you for a second. Are you back on?
Yes, I'm back on. Sorry, I
All
had
right.
a
Thanks.
slight interruption.
No worries.
So these are the key topics that we have. So again, just to explore the library, go to content, and you can find all of our tech content. Back to our presentation. With the LinkedIn Learning Library, as I mentioned, you are going to be able to stay up to date on the most tech content. The content that we're providing is based on what we see trending on our LinkedIn platform. It's based on our partners, the partnerships that we have, for example, like organizations like Microsoft. We are providing you with the most latest and freshest content available, highest quality, very consistent. And so being that you have access to LinkedIn Learning, you're having access to the most current and up-to-date content available. LinkedIn Learning content can also expand and depending on what type of learning you're trying to do. So you'll see that what we call our content is based on what we could refer to as stackable learning, where our content, as you can see, is broken down into chapters, and chapters are then broken down into videos. We also have learning paths where you are consuming content. You can consume content in a linear order based on what your needs are. So again, relating to how you, the learner, might want to consume your content. Again, chapters, courses broken down into chapters and chapters into videos. And in some cases, we have learning paths that makes the learning relevant to your needs. We also include complete guide series where some of our courses can be up to 5 hours, tailored for those more technical learners who want to learn content from the beginning stages to the advanced stages. So as you're going through our library, you'll see that we have a variety of courses, whether it be a complete guide courses that also includes not just video, but also text, will include instructional manuals and so on. So that's one example of our content. Our courses also come in what we call multimedia format, meaning that in this, for example, as you're looking on my screen here, you'll see that you may come across courses where, again, not only includes video, but also includes text, manuals, where you can actually look at a manual, you can read, you can, it will include configuration guides. So our content, again, is presented in multimedia formats made up of a variety of formats, and again, meeting the needs that you have, especially when it comes to technology content. We have experts, just to highlight a few here. The experts or authors that create our content are those that are well known in the industry. These are our top industry expert thought leaders. And so again, the content that you're consuming is from a reputable folks within the industry. As it relates to our tech content, also couldn't go through the presentation without talking about our investment in AI. We have content that's built upon what we call our AI upskilling framework. And what we mean by that is we currently have over 670 courses related to AI technology. And of course, that being, even though that's such a good thing, that can also be a challenge for learners, meaning what courses do we watch? Where do we start? I'm just new to AI, or I'm trying to figure out how do I apply AI to what I do. So what we did was, or we decided to build a framework and identify the key segments to that framework as it relates to AI. There's the understanding, applying, building, and of course, to the peak of those who are actually specializing. And then we decided that we would go ahead and map our content to these, if you want to refer to it maybe as proficiency levels. So if you're at the understanding phase of AI, or you might be that more technical learner or student who's actually at the point where you're working with how to apply AI, we have identified and mapped our courses in our library to each of these proficiency level. I provided a link here that will take you to the exact mappings that we've done. If you want access to this, of course, you can reach out to Katie and you can get access to all of the links that I have here within my presentation. So as part of technology, again, being very mindful of how AI fits into that whole concept. I'll pause here. Are there any questions, Katie?
I think we're pretty good so far.
Okay.
Just as a reminder for everyone, as Emma kind of mentioned, we will be providing the slides afterwards, so you guys will be able to click on the links, and then we will also be providing a recording.
Great. So, oops, sorry. So what I want to do now is sort of switch. We talked a little bit about LinkedIn Learning, our content, what the library looks like. Now let's talk a little bit about how LinkedIn Learning, let me go back for a second, how you can leverage LinkedIn Learning to create a learning path to your career goals with the confidence that you need. And I thought I would go through the rest of the presentation by sort of setting up a scenario, a relatable, hopefully relatable scenario, if you are a student. And I thought about, what if this is sort of your vision board, your checklist? Okay, I'm here at UT Dallas, and I'm pursuing hoping to pursue an IT, a role in IT in some category, in some ways. And maybe you're having a conversation with your career counselor, your coach. And I'm thinking these are some of the things or topics of discussion. And I actually got this little snippet from another customer of mine, where these are some of the things that she talks about with her IT students as they're creating, if you want to call it a vision board or a checklist. one, you have to determine, okay, what IT role are you targeting? What skills do you currently have, whether from in the classroom? What are the in-demand skills do you think you need to have? How are you aligning your current coursework with this targeted job that you have in mind? Are you pursuing internship? Do you have the skills that you need to pursue these internships? What about your resume? Are you writing your resume? What does that look like? What's on your checklist? And so as we're going through the rest of the presentation, I just want you to think about your vision board in your mind, your checklist. What are some of the things that you need to be doing? What are some gaps that you may have that you need to fill? Skills that you feel that you don't necessarily have or you're proficient in? What are some of the things that are being covered in the classroom but you feel are not being covered? Do you know what certifications you need to have? So think about all these things, and again, see as we're going through this where LinkedIn Learning can help fill some of those gaps or help you attain some of these things from your checklist. And hopefully the goal is that as you leave UT Dallas and pursue that job opportunity, or as you're pursuing an internship, you will have the confidence that you need to do so. So this is just again a little scenario of what it might look like for you as you are going through your learning path here at UT. And so again, have your checklist ready. First thing, hands-on practice. If you're in software development and you are pursuing a role, how proficient are you in your coding? I'm sure we're covering some of this in the classroom, but how can LinkedIn Learning help? Well, LinkedIn Learning offers what we call code challenges. This is these are interactive coding exercises that are powered by CoderPad. We partner with GitHub Spaces to provide this sandbox environment that allows our learners to actually get hands-on practice with real-time feedback alongside their coursework within LinkedIn Learning. We provide every learner that uses LinkedIn Learning 60 hours free access to GitHub that allows you to be able to practice and gain those skills that you need, especially if you're targeting a role within the software development space. And so I just want to share with you a quick video that talks a little bit about code practice and the importance of being able to do that.
Advancing your coding skills is about practice. We've all been there, in front of a screen, watching and repeating the code someone else is writing and feeling like it just doesn't stick. You understand it, but when it comes time to write your own code, it just doesn't work. That's why LinkedIn Learning is partnering with CoderPad to give you interactive code challenges. You don't want to just learn something. You want to advance your skills. What I need, what you need, what we all need to supercharge our learning is hands-on practice with real-time feedback. And LinkedIn Learning provides code challenges powered by CoderPad where learners can advance their coding skills on platform with real-time feedback. With our interactive code challenges, your tech team can upskill and apply those skills directly to their current work. Let me show you. As you're watching a course, open a code challenge and you're placed in a dedicated environment powered by CoderPad. Here, you write code to solve challenges created by the instructor and related to your learning and get validation and feedback on your code in real time. In front of you are 4 panels. Top left, you find the instructions for the challenge, including code parameters, expected results, and examples of input and output. These instructions are your reference and guide as you work your way through the challenge. The answer panel, top right, is where you write your answer. This panel has IntelliSense for the relevant code language and extended accessibility features to make it available to all learners. The bottom right panel holds the test code. This is how your answer will be tested, typically by passing values or other data to parameters and functions in your code. For some courses, you'll even be able to modify this test data to further experiment with your code. And finally, bottom left is the console output. This is where you get feedback on your answers, hints when things don't work as expected, and confirmation once you pass a challenge. To take a challenge, read the instructions, write your answer, activate the Test My Code button, and watch the console output for your results. And all this happens right in your browser without you having to install anything. Each code challenge is followed by a video where the instructor walks through a solution step by step and explains why it works, completing the learning experience. LinkedIn Learning's code challenges cover 6 of the most popular programming languages: Python, Java, SQL, JavaScript, C#, and Go. So every member of your team, from beginner to advanced, can advance their current skills as the dev landscape quickly changes. Software developers can accelerate their technical skill development with a professional workplace tool, CoderPad, which is already used by 4,000 plus engineering teams and Fortune 500 companies. CoderPad is built by developers for developers, and so are our courses. Solving code challenges moves your skill building beyond passive listening and repetition to active implementation at the moment of learning. And with LinkedIn Learning's code challenges powered by CoderPad, you have room to experiment, test, and validate your skills in your own time, on your own terms. So go ahead, accept the challenge, test your new coding skills, get immediate feedback, and keep pushing until you get it right. This is how we humans advance our skills, and that's what you get with LinkedIn Learning's code challenges. Start practicing now by visiting link.in/.
So just wanted to share that with you. And as a reminder, as I mentioned, that with LinkedIn Learning, you're getting 60 hours free access to GitHub and be able to use CoderPad, with these code challenges. Very, very significant value to those that are looking to learn software development skills. We also, again, through GitHub, allow you to download source codes through our exercise files. For those of you who understand what all that means, knowing that you have access to these source codes that allow you to actually practice along with the author. So you have the code challenges where you can code and practice, but simultaneously, as you're also taking our courses, you're able to actually download source codes where it makes sense and be able to practice along with our authors. So that's a little bit of hands-on practice and being able to actually practice and gain the skills that you need, which can also help with the confidence that you need as you are pursuing an internship or an actual opportunity within an organization. Next is, how do you prepare and prove that you know how to apply these skills? Through certifications. With LinkedIn Learning, you have free access to a variety of certification options. We have what we call our certification practice exams. This is where you're able to actually practice before you take whether it be the CompTIA or the Google Cloud or Cisco certifications. We also have what we certification prep. As we all know, or you may not know, with some of these certification prep courses, they can cost a few $100s into the low thousands. That is significant for someone who may not necessarily have the finances or even the time to take these certification prep. However, it's despite that challenge, this can often be a requirement for some IT roles where, along with your degree, an employer may be expecting you to have certain certifications. So being able to have free access to all of this while you're at UT Dallas is a tremendous value. And definitely you want to explore and see what certifications there are. And we'll be taking a look at where you can find all of these. But the certification prep courses are a tremendous value to those who are pursuing a technical degree here at UT Dallas. We also have professional certificates. These are micro credentials that you are taking the prep and the actual assessments all free on the LinkedIn Learning platform. Again, helping you with knowing how to apply the skills that you're gaining through your degree program or through the courses that you're taking at LinkedIn Learning. Micro credentials allow you to be more confident in the roles that you pursue and confident in gaining the skills that you need and being able to prove your proficiency in these various topics. So where exactly do you find all of these certifications? When you're in the LinkedIn Learning Library, back to the navigation bar, you'll scroll down here where it says apply, and you'll see certifications. When you click on certifications, it takes you a page where we have all of our certifications highlighted. The professional certificates, some refer to them as micro-credentials. Click show all and show all again, and you can see the various partners that we partner with. We just added Toastmasters recently, but you can see, for example, the Python Institute. We have ServiceNow. This is a popular certification for those who are pursuing a role on the hardware side where you're managing network systems or support databases. ServiceNow now I know is an extremely popular macro credentials that those that are in that space typically will have. Again, being able to have access to this certification while you're here at UT Dallas and have free access to it, I think is a tremendous value. So again, we're looking at the professional certificates, and you can see a wide array of choices. Just as a quick note, under Microsoft, you'll see that we have quite a variety of AI certifications, data analysts. These are all certifications offered by Microsoft that you normally would have to pay for if you went through Microsoft. All free on the LinkedIn Learning platform. Microsoft Copilot certification. If you're interested in learning Copilot, but not just learning, but also getting your the micro credentials certification in Microsoft Copilot, it's all free here on the LinkedIn Learning platform. You can see all the software development certifications, AI courses, all offered by Microsoft, and again, all free. This is a fairly recent certification offered by Microsoft. Microsoft Azure is again new, but popular for those who understand account management, user the identity management systems and so on, all free. You can see we have it here also for, again, Microsoft Copilot. So explore these certifications. Again, to get to them, you're going to certifications and professional. The certification prep, these are certifications that are a little bit more technical and have a lot more hours required. So you can see, again, partnering with a wide array of technical organizations, CompTIA, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft, MongoDB, SolidWorks, Red Hat, very popular. All of these are where you are taking the certification prep all for free. Again, these can sometimes cost a couple of hundreds or low $1,000. Once you complete the certification prep, you then take the exam with those organizations. But again, this is a significant and very important part of the process, and it's all free with LinkedIn Learning. Again, explore these partnerships. Going back to our vision board, think about, is it possible that you may need, or is it possible but that taking any of these could possibly be helpful and provide that extra confidence that you might need as you're pursuing or targeting specific roles within the IT market? So think about your vision board or your checklist and think, does it make sense for me to at least take these? It doesn't hurt, it's free. And do some exploring, talk to your career counselors or your professors to see if it makes sense to pursue any of these. So again, going back to certifications, practice exams. After taking these prep, before you take the exam, you also have the opportunity to practice to make sure, again, that you're fully prepared before taking the exams. All free within the LinkedIn Learning platform. Again, these are all courses, certifications that you would have to pay for out of your pocket. Often find students will sometimes not be aware and be paying for these out of their pocket. But again, free access while you're here at LinkedIn Learning. So take the moment to explore the certifications and see which of these could be part of your learning path while you're here at the university. So those are professional certificates. As we continue along, personalizing your learning with AI. So as you're creating your learning path and trying to determine what gaps do I have as I'm thinking about my checklist, as I'm talking with my career counselor, do I have all the skills that I need? Am I pursuing all the skills that I need? Are all the skills that I need covered in class? Actually, what skills do I actually need? I'm not quite sure. With AI powered coaching in LinkedIn Learning, you can actually get specific advice that's unique to your requirements. So for example, going back, let's go in and take a look at AI powered coaching. So while you're in the library, if you go to AI coaching, this is where you can actually go ahead and do some exploring, ask the AI certain questions. So let's say I ask, what are the most in demand skills I need for IT role? Again, you can be more specific. You know exactly what your needs are. You know exactly what's on your vision board or on your checklist, and you're trying to make sure you're filling all the gaps, but you're not quite sure. This could be one. What are the most in-demand skills? I want to make sure that I'm covering all those skills. Are they being covered in class? I'm not quite sure. So let's see what AI coach recommends. One thing to bear in mind, the AI coach is going to provide you a response based on who you are. So think about that as you're typing in your prompts. That makes a significant difference. So here is a response it gave me. To excel in an IT role, it's essential to have strong foundation in various technical skills. Some of the most in-demand skills, and it gives me examples and courses that it recommends. I could choose to continue to have or to dive deeper with the AI coach. As you can see here, what specific of area of AI, of IT are you most interested is asking. I can choose to continue. Maybe I might want to say software development and see what it says. I find the AI coach to be very helpful in helping to address specific questions. I want specific answers. I'm exploring. I'm not sure. It's, again, having a conversation with your career coach when they're not there to answer the questions that might pop up at odd times of the day. It's a great way to do some initial exploring that you can then take to your career counselors and continue that conversation. But the AI coach is a really neat feature within LinkedIn Learning. And what's neat about it, as it's responding to you, it's also making course recommendations that you can then own and take the next step in gaining those skills as needed. So again, play around with the AI coach. As you can see here, we make suggested prompts based on what you're asking, but explore. And it just doesn't have to be this. It could be around resume writing, anything that you're curious to explore or wanting some initial thoughts or responses to. Leverage the AI coaching feature as part of your learning path to success with LinkedIn Learning. Next, personalized learning paths. Within LinkedIn Learning, you'll find that we have created learning paths that you can essentially take advantage of and to learn whatever skills that it is that you want as you are searching for content. So for example, if I type in, I'm just typing in something really generic. Under software quality assurance, under the filters, I might say I want to see learning paths. Learning paths allow you to consume content around a specific topic in a linear order with a particular outcome, meaning that when I complete this learning path, I'll be pretty proficient in knowledge and skills as it relates to this particular topic. So learning path is one way that you can gain the skills that you need. But if you notice, it also said personalized. One of the things that you'll also notice when you're in the LinkedIn Learning Library, based on your viewing history, based on whether or not your LinkedIn Learning account is connected to your LinkedIn profile, we will start to also make personalized recommendations to you. We will start to make personalized recommendations based on what it is that you're asking, what it is that you're viewing, and making your learning a lot more personalized. Role guides and role explorer. So again, as you're creating your learning path or going down your learning journey with LinkedIn Learning to gain the confidence that you need to be successful at UT, role guides and the role explorer can be a valuable tool. So let's take a look at what these tools are. The role guides, and we're going to look specifically at the text-specific guides, enable a learner to navigate career paths, understand what that role entails, and understand or learn what skills are aligned to that particular role. So going into LinkedIn Learning, let's take a look at where we find them and what they look like. To access the role guides, there are a few different ways you can do that. The easiest way to get to the role guides is under content. So when we go to content, immediately we can see the role guides. Now we're in the business library. Let's go over to the technology library. Click on technology. Here are a few of the role guides that we are providing as it relates to the tech space. If I click show more, what we did when it comes to role guides, again, being that we're LinkedIn and having access to what employers are looking for, what we see trending on the LinkedIn global platform, we identify the most popular roles that we see employers are hiring for. And so currently, we keep adding to these, but currently, these are the most in-demand tech roles that we see trending on the LinkedIn platform. So let's go to one that I know is very popular. This is actually one of the roles that my son currently has, data analyst. If you're trying to understand what's involved in a data analyst role, maybe, again, going back to my vision board, it's the role that I'm targeting. It's the role that I'm thinking about. I'm pursuing my degree around the thought that I would eventually like to pursue a data analyst role when I leave UT Dallas. But what are the skills? Specifically, what's involved in a data analyst role? Yes, you may be having this conversation with your career counselors. Hopefully you are. But maybe it doesn't hurt to have additional insight. That's what LinkedIn Learning can provide. So as a data analyst, the role guides gives me some insight into what a data analyst does. I can show more here. What are some of the basic responsibilities? It tells me here. And maybe I want to learn more. Okay, so exactly what skills do I need? Here we have identified the top skills that you need as a data analyst. You can look at these skills and determine if you are already pursuing some of these skills in your curriculum that you're taking at the university. Are these some skills that you need to therefore, and if you're not, are there any gaps? And if there are gaps, this is a great opportunity where you can pursue and fill those gaps through LinkedIn Learning. Where you see this little icon, it indicates that we have certification micro-credential courses that align with these particular topics. So in this particular case, these are the top skills as a data analyst that you need to have. If you're still not quite sure if it's a role, and again, you're just exploring, this is what you're targeting, but you want some clearer insight, we provide you with access to videos that will cover exactly what's involved in this role, helping you to make that decision as you're, again, exploring, and at the end, hopefully to give you the confidence when you do decide that this is the target that you are pursuing. If you decide, yes, I've gone through the videos and I have a full understanding of what's involved in this role, now I want to dive deeper and build those skills. Along with what I'm gaining in the classroom, I can also fill any gaps that I have through LinkedIn Learning by making sure I can check off all of these skills. And as you can see, if you don't have a skill, in this particular case, this is green because I have my LinkedIn Learning account connected to my LinkedIn profile. And because of that, LinkedIn Learning can automatically tell, based on the algorithms, which skill I already have that's posted on my LinkedIn profile. Once it's green, it means you already have the skill, but if you want to, go ahead and pursue and brush up. You can still take the courses that are linked. So in this case, let's say data visualization, I don't have that skill. I would click on that, and as you can see, LinkedIn Learning recommends 3 courses that it suggests that I take in order to gain that skill. If I'm interested in this role, yes, I can come back here each time and keep taking the courses. But what if you want to keep track? Again, we have that vision board in mind. We're going along our learning path. We're doing the checklist. But we want to make sure that we're managing ourselves, managing what we're doing. You can actually create your own learning path. If you click Create My Learning Path, LinkedIn Learning will go through and create a learning path for you based on achieving these skills. Again, helping you to own your learning, helping you as you're having your conversations with your career counselor, maybe being able to show them what you've done, where you are, for you to monitor your progress, all of that. So LinkedIn Learning here can help you. Along with that, we also can indicate if there are any certifications that would be helpful. Again, going back to my vision board, that was one of the questions that I have. Are there any certifications that I need to take? I don't know. I'm not sure. Here, LinkedIn Learning is saying, yes, there is a certification that we're highly recommending that you take. While you're here, why not take it? Have that conversations. This feature here is a feature that if that you can sometimes turn on to see what openings are available. Not all schools have that feature, so you can ignore that. But the rest of it here, as you can see, in this particular case, LinkedIn Learning is telling me, highly recommend that I pursue a certification that's offered for free in LinkedIn Learning. So this is the role guide, and you can see how helpful and valuable that can be. It's a great way to explore roles, to understand what's involved and understand where there are gaps, what things I need to pursue, and in the end, being able to, again, complete my career journey, my learning path at UT Dallas with the confidence that I need to pursue whatever role it is that I'm targeting. So that's role guides. Let me shift. Any questions? I took a quick pause. I know I'm covering quite a bit here.
Yeah, we do have a few questions, but I think one of the big questions that someone has asked us in the chat is LinkedIn certificates widely accepted by employees? Is it something that a lot of employees or organizations think is very valuable?
Okay, so quick, thanks for the question, Katie. So just to clarify, because I know sometimes it's a little confusing, you have certifications versus course completions. So when you complete a course in LinkedIn Learning, you get a certificate of completion, which you can add to your LinkedIn profile. The value to those certificate of completions is that when you post those certificate of completion, LinkedIn automatically add the skills that are tagged to those courses to your profile for you without you having to do anything. And yes, there are a lot of organizations do recognize those certificates of completion only because of the partnerships that we have with many organizations. So yes, they have some value. When it comes to certificates and the certifications that we talked about earlier, those absolutely, because LinkedIn also has certifications, those are absolutely recognized by organizations on the global market. Hopefully that helps, but I wanted to make that distinction.
Yeah, thank you so much for the distinction.
Okay. Anything else? All right. I know we're almost at time. So, all right. So role guides. And the next topic that I want to touch on is technical skill evaluations. Skills evaluations can also be accessed on the learning page. Let me just take a quick look to show you where those are available. We don't necessarily have skills evaluation for all the tech courses. Where the skills evaluation comes in are for what we call the more soft in-demand skills. So under the business library, this is a good place to check. If you scroll down all the way you come across skills evaluations. These are your what some folks refer to as your soft skills, your the skills that are across that trends, that what should I say, apply across a variety of roles, regardless of creative, business, or technology. If you're trying to determine how proficient you are in these skills, so for example, it could be adaptation, it could be critical thinking, your leadership skills, Excel, Microsoft Word. How proficient are you in these skills? If you're not sure, you want to make sure you fill all those gaps. When you click, let's say, for example, on adaptation, each of these are skills evaluation comes with multiple choices. You take the multiple choices. At the end, based on the results, we will then make course recommendations for you to be as proficient as possible in those particular skills. So skills evaluation, another way to ensure that you have the appropriate skills that you need. Our courses often come with quizzes and exams to help you assess how proficient you are as you're watching our courses. So what I covered today, I know it was just sort of a high level overview of how you can leverage LinkedIn Learning to make sure that you're able to accomplish some of the things that you have on the vision board. Answer those questions. What are the skills do I need to break into the IT role or into the IT market? Are there any skill gaps? Are there any certifications that I need to do? So as it relates to what's next, maybe create that vision board, create that checklist. Are there certifications? Do I have all the skills? Go to the role guides, explore the roles, see what skills we are suggesting. Speak to your professor. Hey, professor, am I covering all these skills in your class? If not, which ones am I not? Speak to your career counselor. What skills do I need? And do your little checklist and fill those gaps with LinkedIn Learning. Additionally, what's next? I would strongly suggest that you explore our learning blog. This is where you'll see trends in the market, what tips we are offering or suggesting for you. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, we have a great course called Rock Your LinkedIn Profile, where we cover all the best tips on, what are some things that you need to have a great LinkedIn learning platform. Key things that you want to focus on is connecting the dots in your story, tell your story, your volunteer work, what you're doing, the clubs that you're part of, connect to a network, and then start to explore opportunities and create that learning path that you need to gain your necessary skills. Post all the course completions that you're completing, post all the certifications, and just take those certifications while you're at UT Dallas. They're all free. Great value that's being offered to you by the university. And so that's what I have to show today. Hopefully you gained a little insight how LinkedIn Learning can be an integral part of that journey that you're taking to achieve your career success. Any questions? Hopefully.
Well,
Thoughts? I'd love some feedback.
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you so much for taking the opportunity to join us today to talk about LinkedIn Learning, especially in that kind of tech focus. We do have a few questions in the chat, but unfortunately, since we're just about the end, we're not going to be able to address those just at that mark. However, we will be ending the recording, but staying on for a little bit extra time. So if there are any students out there that would like to address any questions, we will turn the mics back on. But before we end, thank you again so much, Amma, for your the ability to come in and let us know so much. And everyone in the chat, please give us claps, some applause, some hearts for Alma for all the great things that she's been teaching us. Also, shout out to the library for providing us this service to UTD. I cannot express to you how much this is an amazing service. Please utilize it. And when I say please utilize it, don't forget there is a special grand prize for those that are working through those professional certificates afterwards. All right, for those who need to jump off, thank you so much for attending. I will be ending the recording in just a minute. And then after about a minute or so, after the recording is done, we'll let the students come back in and ask some questions on the mic. All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you all.